Have you ever woken up in your day and decided that today was the day you're going to get this thing done? Maybe it's something you've been afraid to do. Maybe it's something you just need to get done. And you go through your day, and all throughout your day, like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm going to do the thing that I really want to do today. And you go along your day, and more stuff, it gets in the way, and you're busy, but that one thing never gets done. And at the end of your day, you're like, oh, shit, didn't get that done. Tomorrow I will do this thing. And at the end of the day, at the end of every day, it never actually gets done. Do you ever wonder why that happens? Well, I'll tell you right now, it starts with the language we use at the beginning of our day when we set intent to do whatever it is that we want to do. So say, for instance, most people hate making sales calls. I, in the past, have not enjoyed making sales calls. I didn't know how to do them. I didn't know how to start them. I was afraid of, obviously everyone's afraid of rejection. And so I would do that. I'm going to do sales calls today, or I'll get to it. But then it never happens. And the reason it never happens is instead of saying, I'm making calls, I'm making this many calls today, because I didn't use that language, and instead I said, I will make calls, or I'm going to make calls. What that does is it future tenses it instead of present tensing it. So when you say, I will do something, or I'm going to, or even worse, I need to, you create massive stress. First of all, you procrastinate by saying you're going to. You create procrastination in your brain. Your brain's like, don't need to show up for this thing right now, so wow, and away you go. When you say, I need to, you create massive anxiety, because now you're putting stress on yourself to get something done, because you need to do it. And your brain goes into like protective mode. It's like, whoa, freak out, stress, right? And then it starts maybe an anxiety attack, or maybe, some other kind of stressors in your brain that actually go against helping you do what you're really intending on doing, which is to get something done. So the way you overcome that is by using, first of all, first person. So I have a habit of saying, if you want to make money, you have to do blah, blah, blah. But that's putting it away from me. So instead of saying, I want to, I'm going to, I am earning this much money. It's not I'm going to make, because that's future sense. But I'm going to say instead, I'm making, again, whatever income goal I've set for myself. When you say those words, your brain goes into, oh, we're doing this. Okay, this is on. And then it starts acting in a way such that you're acting as if you're already at that goal already. So if you want something, don't always say, well, it's coming, or I'm going to get there, or, maybe, or if, or someday. If you use that language, you'll never get there. Use instead, and you kind of sound a little bit nuts, but you use the language instead of I am there. I am not, going to be an author. I am an author. I am not going to be a good mom. I am a good mom. And so when you start speaking like that, and your brain is always listening to everything we say, and when you give it those positive words, that positive feedback, you guarantee that it's going to operate in that way. And you'll get that thing done. So the day when someone helped me to overcome that language problem of future tensing things and putting things in the third person instead of owning them for myself, I went home, and for the first time in my life, I made 10 sales calls, and it felt fantastic. And you know what? I realized that one thing, that one change in how I looked at that thing that was scaring me, the thing I didn't want to do, but I knew that I had to do, because it would be one thing that would really, really help my business. And so I knew it was good, but the language I use of future tensing and of using third person actually sabotaged my efforts. And that's why we go through our days, despite the fact we wake up in the morning with full intent to go through our day and get that one thing done, right? So again, the example I use is making those sales calls. You can wake up in the morning and say, okay, I need to make 10 calls. You're not going to do it. If you do it, you'll be under incredible stress, and your calls won't go as well. You're not going to close as many sales. You can also say, well, I'm going to call 10 people today. You're future tensing it, and you're not telling your brain it's time to act like this right now. So when you change it to like, I'm calling, so you're saying calling, because the present tense, I'm calling 10 people today. You're using first person, so you're taking ownership and responsibility. You're using present tense, so your brain's like, okay, let's get the skills, let's get the synapses firing that are going to make sure that this happens. Your calls will go better. You'll close more people. And in the end, you know what? You're going to get a hell of a lot more stuff done. So if you're the kind of person like I can be, I used to be, and you wake up in the morning and you have some intent, you have something you want to do that day, don't future tense it. Don't third person it. Own what it is you're going to do. Use words in the present, not past tense. Use the present tense, not past tense, and not future tense. Own it in the day. Your brain will kick in, and you'll get all the ideas, all the creativity you need, and all the time to make sure that you get done what you need to get done. So this is something that has been a huge game changer for me, and I really, really hope that you guys are able to implement something like this. So I hope you're having a nice evening. I've been sitting in a Dairy Queen parking lot now for 45 minutes waiting for my son to have I believe he's having an interview. If not, maybe he got stuck in a blender. I don't know. So wish my son luck, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao!